guys, welcome back to Dakbuster with the girl that knows absolutely nothing but is giving her opinion, and the guy who went to film school and is going to tell me what's right and what's wrong.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes we get lost. If you haven't noticed, like, we get people's names wrong. We can name off the movie,
Yeah.
and he has sat in other, like, filmings and just been like, what's that person's name? And right off the top of my head, we get to this podcast, no idea. Who are we
Yeah.
calling wrong last podcast?
Mike Flanagan, I think you called.
No,
Mark?
it was Ben Affleck.
Oh, that too.
Is it Affleck?
Oh, yeah. The last one, I think we said Ben Affleck wrong. Affleck?
I don't know. I don't know what we said. It was so wrong.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It's
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. We
We'll
all
figure it
make
out.
mistakes.
No. But basically I want to bring up something right off the bat. Have you, since our theme is Dakbuster, as in blockbuster, have you watched the new series yet?
Nope.
On Netflix? It's good. I mean, it's like true sitcom comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have to give it a watch.
I'll have to watch it, see what it's all about. I've seen some trailers, some teasers and clips and stuff on the internet and whatnot. I'll be able to put it on kind of, as a simple watch, I feel like.
Yeah, they go by pretty fast. One of our producers says it's very much like our pre-filmed Dak Jam High sitcom.
Yeah.
And it's very much same type of jokes, just basically about Blockbuster with a great cast nonetheless.
Yeah, no, the cast is really stacked. I definitely want to give it a watch eventually. It's on my list, my long list of things to watch.
You just keep giving him a longer and longer list.
Well, and it gets worse because this month is the highest release month ever.
Okay, so I'm super excited because there's Spirited. There's the Christmas Story, like the reboot.
Yep.
There's Disenchanted. There's I'm all over the place because does Glass Onions come out this month or is it later?
I can't remember. I think it comes out in theaters this month and then it's on Netflix December.
November's just a crazy time.
It's like bonkers. I can't even wrap my head around it. Like there were so many different things and I'm like, oh my god, the new Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie comes out on Netflix.
Oh yeah, Black Panther
comes out.
That's gonna be phenomenal. Phenomenon.
Geez, what else? There's other things coming out too. Netflix has a bunch of original different things coming out. I just saw there's a new I think it's a true crime docuseries about the killer nurse.
Yes, Nurse Ratched? Or is they're just...
It's like a real guy, I guess. I don't remember his full name, but his last name's Cullen, which is weird.
He killed people?
Yeah.
Like, just... I think I read, like, I watched Dateline on this. Wasn't he just going around, like, injecting people because he thought it was, like, their time to die or something like that?
He might have been. But yeah, I think that comes out on the 11th. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much coming out. I can't even remember all the things, and I'm just going to have to, I don't know.
It's content overload. They're
and
trying to prep you
platform.
Yeah, they're trying to prep you for Christmas so you have stuff to watch.
Yeah.
And like, it's too much.
It's too much.
I want to watch my regular Christmas movies. I want to rewatch some series, and they're just dumping content on us.
I'm just now starting to feel like I'm somewhat catching up on things that I had a list of, and nope, let's just say screw that.
I mean, hey, whatever. But otherwise, I'm lost. Sorry.
Yeah, no, this is a big month of releases, and I don't know. I guess we'll be talking about a lot of content in the coming weeks because I don't know how we're going to stay on top of all of it, but we'll find some way.
Oh my gosh, you know what's coming up the year anniversary of?
What?
Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version.
Really?
Yes.
It's a good film.
It's a good film. I hope she wins something with it.
Can she still?
I think it got submitted for something.
For Oscars, maybe?
I think Grammys.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think that one. She's trying to go for what the EGOT.
Yeah.
She'll get it eventually.
I mean, that's pretty much a given. I feel like she's doing so many different short films and things that she's bound to win something for one of them eventually.
But otherwise, yeah, November, just the time where you get all the content and then you hibernate all winter long, especially where we live.
Yep.
And nest and watch everything known to man.
Yeah. speaking of EGOT and the Oscars
Yeah.
and everything, did you see Jimmy Kimmel is hosting the 95th
Oh.
annual Oscars?
Is he?
Yeah.
He'll be good. I
I
like
don't
when they do.
remember.
I like when they do night show hosts.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Who did it last year?
I don't know.
I think it was the three ladies, but they weren't like the hosts.
Three.
They were like more commentators that like would come out every once in a
It
while.
wasn't the three ladies too. It was like a whole bunch of different actors. Remember, because they were trying to
'Cause
do
it
it
was-
without a host.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
the Will Smith slap year
Oh, that's the anniversary of that's coming up.
coming up.
Oh.
But
Oh.
yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, he has hosted it before, so he should do a good job. I mean, he did just get in some controversy at some award show.
What did he do?
Well, he was, I think it was the Emmys. I could be wrong, but he was giving the award to this woman, and he did a bit where he like fainted or fell over or something, and he like laid on the floor behind her while she was giving her acceptance speech.
Yes.
Like the whole time. So interesting choice of Jimmy Kimmel for this year after this
Was that
controversy.
Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy
Yeah,
Fallon?
it was Kimmel.
It was Kimmel. There's too many Jimmys out there. I
So
can't.
many.
I can't.
We knew it wasn't going to be James Corden, so
Is he making another Peter Rabbit?
I don't know what he's doing, but he's canceled.
Oh,
He, not only the restaurant thing, also apparently he stole a joke from Ricky Gervais or something.
not
and-
Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky is a treasure.
Yeah, and he came forward and was like, "Yeah, I stole a joke." And I'm like, "Oh my god, what's
At
happening?"
least give him credit.
Yeah.
That's all you simply have to do is give people credit or
It's
just
crazy.
be a nice person.
It's crazy.
It's hard to be nice sometimes, apparently, we've learned in this world.
And that's the tea. But yeah, I think that's the quick update of all things happening around us in the entertainment world.
Exactly. Otherwise, we have special movies for you today. We
As
have
always.
the generic rom-com.
Mm.
A rom-com. What do you
Yeah.
think when you think of rom-com?
Is
Is it a dying genre, you think? Or has Netflix tried to bring it back in its own way?
I don't know. It's hard for
There's-
me because it's like nothing I've seen that's really come out in the last few years has been like a great rom-com. It's been like
The 2000s were the year of the rom-com. Like
80s and 2000s.
80s
yeah.
and 2000s for sure. I was thinking like during the 90s, like once a year, there's like a very good rom-com, but the 80s and 2000s pumped out that rom-coms like no one's
Yeah.
business. I bet you will get like a revival or like Netflix is doing that a lot.
Yeah.
And then they make three movies afterwards to go along with it. And you're like, God, just put them out of their misery. You can only be one rom-com and done. Like,
Yeah.
why is there the Kissing Booth 3 or
Oh,
whatever?
Jesus.
Or everything has to have a sequel nowadays.
Have you noticed how they're bringing back like the old school rom-com stars for new rom-coms?
Yes. What were you telling me that was Molly Ringwald was in?
Molly Ringwald's and a lot of stuff, but like in actual rom-coms. Like they're bringing rom-com superstars back into new rom-coms. Molly was in the Kissing Booth. I
Yes,
think
she was.
played what's his face's mom.
I love that. Like, I think we've talked about this before where she just sneaks into these.
Yeah.
And you're like, totally her character.
Yep.
I don't feel like she's pigeonholed as an actress.
No.
She just does whatever she wants.
She picks what she wants, takes that check, and she goes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but recently, I mean, obviously Jennifer Lopez has dropped, I think, like 3 rom-coms in the last year, probably. Like
There are like 3 back to back.
because it was "Marry Me." It was the one with Josh Duhamel coming out soon.
Why does she always get married in these?
Always.
I'm just curious. Like at
Always.
Wedding Planner, just every single rom-com with Jennifer Lopez has a wedding scene in it.
Yeah.
Monster-in-law.
And then is it God? It's not Julia Roberts.
Describe the movie and I'll be able to tell you.
It's like a divorced couple. The parents are going to, I think, the wedding of their child.
Oh my God, you want to know who's in
They're
it?
on a plane.
It's Julia Roberts.
Is it?
Yeah,
and
and
it's,
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Yes.
I'm so excited for that one,
Yes,
actually.
that one looks good. I will not lie, but I find it interesting how they're bringing all of these like iconic rom-com stars back into rom-coms, trying to like boost up the genre or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good selling genre, but the problem is those all went in movie theaters.
Yeah.
So like their gross inbox was like phenomenal.
Yeah.
When a rom-com came out, especially like during Valentine's Day, where like 3 of them came out at one time. And now it's just like maybe that's why action and rom-coms kind of dying out.
Yeah, but it's
Or
funny because they're
horror,
mixing them.
action, rom-com. Yeah.
They're mixing action and rom-coms now a lot. Like Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum and Daniel Radcliffe were just in the Lost City or whatever. And that was a rom-com between Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
It's so weird.
Which is weird.
Mind you this, Ryan Reynolds. Are you okay?
Popcorn over here.
Jeez. Just dying.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, every single movie he's in, basically could be super dramatic, and it's still lighthearted and funny.
Yeah.
But that's his character. That's who he is.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely phenomenal. Deadpool action but comedy.
Yeah.
To
romance. There's romance in there.
Free Guy, romance,
Yep.
action, comedy.
He
He's
does mix all the genres.
He does.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. I'm so excited.
For
Spirited.
Yes. I was going to say that, but there was something else I was going to say.
Oh, no. It made you lose it.
Oh, no. Ryan Reynolds.
Something to do with Blake?
No.
His 4th daughter, apparently?
No. Oh, no. It was important, too.
It was?
Oh, shit.
Let's just cancel this so we think on it.
Spirited, though. That one does look very good. And I've been excited ever since their TikTok went viral.
Yes.
Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, because they're like singing in it. And then here it comes out that it's a Christmas movie they're doing together. A Christmas musical movie.
Like a revamp of the classic tale of like Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Christmas Past.
It's going to be
present,
good.
Future.
I have high hopes. My standards for this are very high.
I mean,
1, it's Christmas. 2, it's Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. 3, Will Ferrell, Elf.
I mean, I was just thinking what was the last Christmas movie he was, and that was Daddy's Home. Was Christmas themed.
That's true. Daddy's Home 2, right?
Yeah. But I was like, there's something about Will Ferrell in a Christmas movie that's not actually a Christmas movie, but in all downright, it's basically Will Ferrell-fied or whatever you want to call it.
It's so weird to me, but I did see an interview where they were talking to all of the cast of Spirited, and the question was like, Will, did you give them any advice on being in a Christmas movie? And they're so funny together, even in just an interview. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is just a dry humor, funny, like straight to the punchline kind of guy where anything he says is pretty freaking funny, and those two together, they just bounce off each other. But it made me excited. I do remember what I was going to say about
What were you going to say? Oh my gosh, it's come back. What is it? Surprise me. Interesting fact.
Oh.
Did you lose it
again? I lost it for a second.
You lost an interesting fact again.
This is coming.
Okay, just tell me.
Have you heard the drama about one of Ryan Reynolds' past co-stars, TJ? I don't remember his name. He was in Deadpool. TJ Miller.
Is it the best friend? Yeah. He's always been very controversial. What about it?
Well, it's all coming out. Like, recently, he's digging this old hole open. Like, he's just pouring salt in an old wound.
Yeah, 2 years ago, he got canceled or something like that. Yeah.
And now he's on all these podcasts, all these, like, radio shows talking about how he will never work with Ryan Reynolds again because Ryan Reynolds is mean. He did this to me on set, saying that he improvises. Ryan Reynolds improvises, and the things he would improvise were not like in character. It was like he was just doing it to be mean, and I'm like, buddy,
I'm biased.
Buddy, come on now. This is Ryan Reynolds you're talking about.
America's treasure ever since the proposal.
And he's Canadian.
Right? I've met a lot of Canadians. I have not met one mean Canadian, which is really hard to say.
Yeah.
Okay, I did meet one mean one, but that was complicated.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't believe it. Honestly, I think he's just looking for
clout.
5 seconds of fame again.
Yeah, because he got canceled pretty hard. I think it was like some...
On his up and up.
Yeah, it was like some sexual investigation or something went on with him. He got canceled pretty hard. I can't believe he's on podcasts, I'll be honest.
It's interesting that these all are just going viral now, but
I feel bad because he was a very good actor.
He's funny. But he also is obviously a supporting, like, B-list sort of character actor, you know. So I feel like there's a little bit resentment there when TJ's talking about it. I don't know. I wasn't on set. I didn't witness Ryan Reynolds and how he behaves, but I've always read really good things about Ryan, so I don't know.
I mean, good question. Do you believe TJ, who's been canceled? Or do you believe Ryan Reynolds, America's treasure?
Exactly.
I
Like,
mean,
Ryan, I feel like Ryan's one of those celebrities where he's almost uncancelable because he says whatever he wants, knowing that there's a possibility that he's crossed the line, but he makes it so funny and lighthearted that you're just not mad.
the one movie, like he was in a lot of movies before this, but the rom-com Proposal with Sandra
Mm-hmm.
Bullock, that was the first time I was like, wow, he's doing something. You
Yeah.
know? This is kind of the jump off of his career.
Yeah. He's
But
in so many movies too, and like, I'll watch a movie and I'm like,
he's
wait a
in it.
minute. I just watched for Halloween time the Amityville Horror, and he's in
Yes,
the.
he is.
I'm like, what's he doing there?
He's
This is
all a mix of
crazy.
genres. He's all a mix of everything and anything, basically.
He's
Any
a
movie you
well-round
watch.
actor.
I know. When I was like talking about our Instagram, I thought we should follow one celebrity, and I thought it was gonna be him.
He
and
is
then
my man crush, besides Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, our other producer is like, "Oh, just follow Blockbuster," which just has a Twitter. I'm like, "Can we just follow Ryan Reynolds? Like, he is the all-time greatest."
I mean, could we get a sponsorship from Aviation Gin? I'll take it.
I'll take it. I
I've
like some
drank it.
gin.
It's smooth.
Is it smooth?
It's so smooth. It's very good, and that's without being paid to say it.
To promo.
So
Aviation
imagine what
gin.
I'd say if you did pay me.
I just saw it TikTok, but basically his aviation gin facility, like the bar, it's like very much Ryan Reynolds-esque, meaning there's hidden stuff about movies he was in. It was basically all
Oh.
surround him. So there's like cool games and stuff, and basically it's off his movies.
That's so cool.
He's such a branding genius, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to his movies. He knows how to promote a movie.
And the funny thing is he really doesn't even have to do much. But did you
Does
see
a lot
Did
more.
you see the Deadpool 3 like ad that he did with Hugh Jackman?
Yes, I'm so
Brilliant.
excited.
Brilliant.
And
And those two together are funny too. So
I mean, oh yeah, because his nemesis is Hugh Jackman,
Yeah.
and they said in the aviation gen is like something about his nemesis
Nemesis.
being Hugh, and it's like all over the place. I just feel like that's iconic, basically.
You know, name drop.
Who did he meet?
I did meet Hugh Jackman and got his autograph.
Was he as great? Oh,
He
was great.
he's like, honestly, and I've read about it too, where he's like top 5 nicest like famous people you can meet. 100%. So nice.
I mean, to meet Hugh Jackman or any of them, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, we got to get out of here and start meeting all of these people.
I know.
and
Do you know
interviewing
who
them.
I believe is the nicest celebrity alive?
Who?
It's my rom-com movie. This is the nicest person ever, and I've heard it.
Really? Interesting. This is a
You
great
follow her
movie.
TikTok? She
Uh,
is so
I
genuine.
don't know if I follow her.
Oh, follow her. She makes recipes and stuff, and
Oh.
she like is a character. It's basically her, but she like amps it up.
And I'm assuming you're talking about Jennifer, not the younger girl who played
Oh,
young Jennifer, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh, the younger girl has a pretty good
I
TikTok
think
too.
I follow her TikTok.
Yeah. But Jennifer Gardner, this is my all-time favorite rom-com movie. I had to
Yes.
pull it out. It's just iconic. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of rom-coms, but this one made me like rom-coms.
It's so good.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Gardner, the premise of 13 going on 30, where you're basically stuck in the 80s, and then you're like, I want this big futuristic life.
Yeah.
And watching it as a girl at the age of like 7, I think I was, it was like, that's the life I want. And then at the end, they kind of shock you into reality, where they're like, it's maybe not the life that she actually wants, and it's not the life you get. I mean, it's kind of archaic in the fashion and sense now that she just settled down for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, she had all these hopes and dreams, and now looking back at it, I mean, it's Mark Ruffalo, don't get me wrong, but out of everything in today's, like, culture and everything like that, she just was like, no, I rather have the homemaker life. I think that's so like redundant at this point.
That
But
is funny.
I loved everything because I think every girl wants to go out and be her in that time and situation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she got the guy in the end, but at the same time, they wanted to be her when they were young.
Yeah. No, I really really enjoy this movie. They tried to do something very similar to it recently. Oh, what was it?
Was it a movie?
Yeah.
Not with them in it, I assume.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is honestly a trope that is done in movies quite often where
Yep.
it's like you wish to be older and then you're older, but this one does it so well and it's so funny, so lighthearted but deep at the same time.
Do you want to know? I just learned that Australia doesn't call it 13 going on 30 because they thought that Australians could interpret it
Yeah.
as 13 going on 30.
Was it suddenly 30 or
It was
something like
suddenly
that?
30, and I understand, but when I think suddenly 30, I literally just think of like, oh my god, she's 30 now. Gosh dang it.
Suddenly, I went from 29 to 30.
And I mean, like, all the Australians should understand the concept of 13 going on 30. So how insulting is that on a culture
that's
to be like,
valid.
let's minimize it? They don't understand. It's suddenly 30. That's so rude.
It really is.
Who was the marketer behind that?
Yeah, that's messed up.
That's so rude. I can't.
My favorite scene from this movie, though, is obviously the thriller scene.
Yes.
Love it. And maybe that's why I loved this movie so much when I was a kid, because I obviously loved Michael Jackson and stuff. But, like, when they start breaking out the thriller dance, I'm like, oh, this is iconic. And still to this day, if I watch it, I, like, just get giddy. Biggest smile on my face. And I'm just like, oh, my God.
Everything could have made it so kitschy to going, but it played so well
Yeah.
because she's basically a child. She
Yeah.
is a child, and I don't know. My favorite is your ultimate movie song when she's like packing up her office and like she just got fired.
Yes.
Vienna.
Yep. Makes
That
me wanna
I mean,
cry.
literally, and she goes there, and it's his wedding when she goes home, and her parents aren't
Slow
there. They went
down,
on vacation
crazy
without her.
child. So ambitious for a juvenile.
Juvenile.
It's a great song. The soundtrack is phenomenal.
I mean, you got the 80s and the 2000s
Yeah.
mixed in. It's perfect.
This one was a fun one because we recreated it for Dak Jam High,
Yes.
season 1, and I switched bodies with our producer Mike, and like it was fun to edit because of the music.
I'm just laughing because that actually is probably one of my favorite ones. It's hilarious.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so
fun.
cringy, but so
I
good.
know. I know. Mike, phenomenal actor in that one. No, we obviously had to recreate that one just because it's iconic.
It's
I feel like
iconic.
everybody in our
Hemisphere.
group just loves this movie, so
Okay.
rightfully so.
I got a second one who I
Oh,
think
boy.
is apparently the nicest one. Yeah, iconic.
Ah, it's a great one.
Reese Witherspoon.
You know, I didn't watch that for a lot of my life. Like, I want to say I was probably approaching 20 years old. I was either 19 or 18.
Serious?
Yeah.
This is my mom's favorite movie, so every time you're flipping through like a direct or a
Yeah.
dish, we stopped and we had
Yeah,
to
too.
watch it. I mean,
My mom and sister love it too, so I don't know why I never saw it. I saw bits and pieces. I vividly can remember the kitchen scene at the beginning when she comes into his house. Like, that's a scene that I always saw.
it's such a meme-worthy
Yeah.
movie. I mean, everything about it. That's how they're not getting rom-coms right. They go too far into the cringe.
Oh,
Because I was like, what day? 13 going on 30. I said, it could easily gone cringe.
big time.
Sweet Home Alabama, you're literally kind of making fun of the South. And
Yep.
it could have gone pretty cringe. And they did it so well. And now, new movies, it's just too cringy. It's too cringy, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
She is iconic. It also had my number one rom-com guy in it, Patrick Dempsey.
I mean, gotta talk about McDreamy.
McDreamy. I mean, it's phenomenal. He was also another shout out. We don't have this movie here, but Maid of Honor.
Ah, that's the one I was looking for over
with
there.
Kevin in
It's a
it.
great
Oh,
movie.
you were looking for Maid of Honor?
Yeah.
It's okay. 13 going 30 favorite movie ever, but rom-com wise, it's always been Maid of Honor. I always
Really?
used to tell people it was Maid of Honor,
I
and
love that movie.
that was before I started watching Grey's Anatomy. So strange, right?
That's funny.
But I mean, everything about it, baby in the bar, lighting the little bomb on a cat, and you can still see him running around town.
Yeah.
Everything about it is phenomenal, and I love it.
No, I really like this movie. Great music in this one too.
Yes.
I feel like it's just such an easy watch, and even if you're not from the South, like you can relate to it, and it's like obviously you're laughing because of some of the things that they say that are very much so making fun of the South, but like
they embrace it though.
Yes, 100%. And it's funny how she like comes back to her roots and instantly goes back into like who she was when she was there.
Yeah.
Which I think is really well done in this story, and it's fun. Even though, she doesn't end up with our boy.
Oh yeah. Well, it's fine.
I mean, I didn't like Patrick's mom in that movie anyways, but
like he didn't like his mom in the end. I was like, Patrick knew better. He's like,
I low-key
not the girl for me, but I can do so much better.
I low-key wanted her to end up with Patrick.
I did too. I thought the premise was she was like throughout the watching the movie when I was young that she's gonna end up with Patrick, but they never end up with the good-looking guy. They end up with the semi good-looking main lead. The like side character's always very good-looking.
It's valid.
So when he's always very good-looking, you're like, nah, she's not gonna end up with him.
There's no way. Yeah.
She gotta normalize herself a little bit.
I just realized something.
What?
This movie triggered another rom-com for me.
Oh no. We could go on the rom-com. What do you need? What do you need me to grab? Oh, you're getting it?
I don't think it's over here. Which is what's concerning. Give me a second. I will find it.
Oh no.
I'm determined. I know where it is. Talk to the people.
The movie guy is running upstairs to get his rom-com movie. And just left me here to talk to you all. Basically, another great rom-com movie I would suggest is The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston. And, what's his name in it? I just talked about this yesterday, too. But anyways, it's just iconic, that movie. It's basically the most realistic rom-com. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, Vince is the guy in it. I was telling them about The Breakup.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I mean, that's not even, I wouldn't even consider that much of it's rom-com, but it's like such a non-cringy rom-com. Do you get what I mean? It's not very kitschy.
Valid, yeah.
They add kitschy parts, but not that much.
Okay,
what is it?
Because of this movie, I thought of Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh yeah, you gonna take a breath?
I love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that I had not seen until I was older. And it's such a classic. Like, I've heard of it. Obviously, I've heard the song. Can't Buy Me Love.
You know how I knew about this? Another rom-com movie, Easy A.
Oh, yes.
And then I watched it afterwards. Because that is,
one.
I mean, that's the ultimate rom-com in a sense where it brings up all the past rom-coms.
Yep.
But yes. Oh, TV time.
No, Can't Buy Me Love. Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah.
Early 80s. I think it's super early 80s. I don't even know what year. That's going to bug me. Interesting. It
80s?
doesn't even like put the copy
It's just
the
in
copyright
the 80s.
on it.
It must be early 80s.
It's super early 80s.
Probably before copyright law.
Yeah, what's going on here? Just such a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Patrick Dempsey plays like a nerd. It's
always the glow up.
Like, he kind of blackmails her into dating him, and then he gets popular, and then ditches her, and she falls in love with the nerdy guy that turned out to be popular because of her.
Was this the basis for every teen movie after
Ever.
it?
Yep.
It was. This is what they make fun of in all the movies.
It's like Patrick Dempsey turns into complete douche in this, but like you still want him to end up with the girl, which kind of bugs me.
I mean, these are some.
But she also was not great. So
I mean, horrible themes in rom-coms. Like, you're like, oh, what are we doing? Aging women back to the decades?
Yeah.
Like, they can't do any better unless they have a man.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of the movement has come on. That's why it's very hard for people to do rom-coms nowadays. It's unrealistic.
100%. It's hard, and I think a lot of people are like more into the I don't need a man, I don't need a woman to be happy sort of thing. So it's like, Whereas back then, everybody's romanticizing like the perfect Prince Charming is coming in and all of this stuff. Like that was like the way movies were made, like damsel in distress, Prince Charming, whatever. That's just how they did it back then.
I like rom-com books, and I don't know why. 'Cause same like vibe as a movie, but I feel like in the book it's written from a woman's perspective. The guy usually is.
Yeah.
And like it's the perspective. I think rom-coms, if they're not directed by women, they need to.
Valid.
I think that would start like the pivot towards the rom-coms coming back because they need a woman's voice behind it. I mean, the women bring them into the movie theater or streaming it with the guy. We do not have to care about the guy whatsoever. It's only for the female mindset.
Yeah, it's very valid.
Some guys are like, I'm too macho to watch it. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, sign me
You're
up for
over there
rom-com.
crying.
If I'm crying, laughing, and feeling the love, then it's a good night. That's where I'm at. But I did bring a second one down that I did not mean to. But I saw
think you have a third one in the drawer too.
I've got 2 more in the drawer.
What?
I love a good rom-com.
You do love a good rom-com.
I forgot we had these ones though.
Yeah.
This is When Harry Met Sally.
That is basically the epitome of rom-coms.
This is like just absolutely iconic. Rob Reiner.
Wait, do you know what's funny is all these celebrity interviews I've been watching lately, they're like, what's your favorite movie? And they're like, When Harry Met Sally. Every single one of them says it.
The way this movie is set up and told, like the story is told, is so interesting because they're interviewing like these old couples about like how they keep their like love alive or whatever throughout the whole entire movie. But Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan. Who doesn't love Meg Ryan in an old school rom-com?
I wish she would come back to acting, but
I love
it's
her.
all good.
But yes, When Harry Met Sally. If you haven't seen it, you gotta check it out. It's one of those movies I didn't want to watch for a long time because it had so much hype. It was always talked about. Everybody was like, "Oh, When Harry Met Sally." You hear about it in movies. You hear about it on TV shows. Eventually, I pushed myself to just watch it, and it's so friggin' good. It's funny. It has the most iconic scene. One of the most iconic scenes. Oh, it's ranked as a
comedy on the side.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even know what romantic comedies were back in the 80s.
What's it say on the back? I feel like it says, "It's wonderful, romantic and funny."
I like You Got Mail.
A comic Valentine. Oh.
Do we have it over there?
Yep, right there. Top shelf.
Oh, with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. I'm not reaching up there.
I was going to say, Tom Hanks in a rom-com is great. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan in a rom-com, just as good.
Your heart just melts.
Joe versus the Volcano. That's another.
Our rom-com section's right over here.
That's another rom-com.
I've never seen
Tom
that.
And Meg. And then, of course, Sleepless in Seattle. That's more of a romance than it is a comedy. But it has a few funny parts,
Yeah. The Wedding Singer.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Notting Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, My Best Friend's Wedding. I just watched that with Julia Roberts.
Yep.
It was the first time watching it, and it was so good.
Speaking of Julia Roberts.
I
have my third rom-com.
Oh, wait. Yes.
Pretty Woman, still in the wrapping.
Wait. The theme in this movie, it just takes me back to be like, what the fuck?
It's pretty bad.
There's like stuff, are those characters still together? So it's like Troy and Gabriella, High School Musical. No. Pretty Woman. Hell no. You cannot start a relationship out by being a hooker.
No.
He cheated a lot too. Let's premise that. It's his fault. He would totally dump her. It'd be him.
He's buying a hooker.
Yeah.
So,
I fell in love with a hooker.
Here's the deal.
He's just in midlife crisis like for about 20 years.
If you started your relationship and he's paying you for sex.
I can't believe this is a movie. I'll be completely honest.
It's whack, but it's so good.
It's like everything is... She takes... That could have got so bad because every rom-com there's a reason why we associate rom-coms with certain characters like Jennifer Gardner, Reese Witherspoon, Julia Roberts, Meg Ryan, and all the guys that we mentioned too, is because they know how to make it professionally done. They know how to draw you in and make your heart just break into two.
You should not like either of these characters.
No!
Richard Gere and Julia Roberts, you should not like whatsoever. First of all, this man's buying a prostitute. Second of all, this woman is a prostitute. I get it. You got to pay your bills. Okay?
You're not going to find love out of that situation.
Show me where a prostitute that looks like Julia Roberts does in this movie is.
Nowhere. Okay. I can absolutely guarantee that.
I'm sorry to the prostitute community out there in the red light district, but...
They could not remake Pretty Woman.
No.
They could not remake it.
Oh my God, what would they do? Like someone who sells feet pics on social media? If you use that idea, I expect a check. Just came to me, but like an OnlyFans model or something.
Jesus Christ.
That's brilliant. Let's reboot Pretty Woman right now. We have the idea.
I can't.
Oh my God. OnlyFans, feet pics, whatever. I don't care. That's exactly what prostitution is in our time and day today.
I can't believe even thinking of comprehending that they could reboot Pretty Woman. It's just...
We went from never to, well, maybe.
We went from America's Sweetheart over here.
Yeah.
Well, in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And we just went to, like, hookers.
Well.
Girls chasing their dreams to hookers.
You know, Julia Roberts.
She did chase her dreams.
She was in a lot of rom-coms,
she walked in with, like, the bags.
Yes.
Iconic line. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
If you could never watch Pretty Woman... And I just watched it about a year ago.
Big mistake. Big.
Just grab the popcorn on the ground, sure.
Big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Okay, well, I got another one.
Oh my God, just keep them rolling.
Obviously, we could talk about rom-coms forever.
We'll come back to rom-coms.
Is a weird genre.
That's a rom-com?
I don't know how to explain this one, okay? This is like a family movie, a comedy, a rom-com, everything, all in one. He is fighting for his family back and his wife back this whole time.
I mean, that's basically it is a rom-com.
At the basis of its story,
it's more comedy, but you're like, it's a rom-com. He's trying to get his wife back.
So maybe that's like a unpopular opinion. Mrs. Doubtfire is a rom-com.
I mean, like, he literally dressed up as an old lady with prosthetics. And was like, yeah, I'm going to get my wife back this way.
I dressed up like a woman to win my wife back.
I mean, the themes of this movie, traveling back in time just to end up with the guy. This one's actually pretty well done.
This one, I think
she still has her career. She still has her career.
Yep.
She just didn't want the idyllic guy that everyone thought you should have.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty good. Jackass.
I mean, he was
both of them.
She was just
don't say it. Up. Yep.
This one, they
could
they're best friends and they fuck.
I mean,
they're best friends and they sleep together.
It's okay. We have friends with benefits and no strings attached.
Valid.
I love that. I love how Mila Kunis was in Friends with Benefits, and then Ashton Kutcher at the same time was like No Strings Attached. Both great movies. Yeah. Great movies.
Yeah. Rom-coms. Pretty Woman, a prostitute, falls in love with her client.
He falls in love also. For a short time, I'm guessing.
And then a cross-dressing dad tries to win his wife back.
I mean, that one's pretty good. Like,
yeah, but I don't think they could remake it today.
Yeah, no, they couldn't remake it because that idea is so, like, unheard of. Mm-hmm. And they're like, exploit it.
Yeah.
And it can never be remade again.
No.
There was a Miss Doubtfire too, right?
I think they planned for one, but it never got put into production.
Yeah, I mean...
but it was turned into a Broadway musical recently, I think. Yeah.
I could see it as a musical.
I could too. I'm shocked that they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Dear God, do you have any other movies?
No, that's all I had in my drawers. But yeah, we talked about a lot of rom-coms today.
There's so many rom-coms over here. It's insane. Oh, Meet the Parents is considered a rom-com?
I mean, when you think about it,
I
to its
mean,
core,
yeah.
essentially.
I love.
Father of the Bride. Great movie. I don't know if I would consider that really a rom-com
I
either,
wish they
because it's
would
more
reboot
like...
that.
Didn't they try recently?
I think so. I think it was like a Lifetime movie or something.
Okay.
Not a Lifetime, a Freeform movie or something like.
Okay.
And it wasn't. It
I
was
mean,
different characters, but like the same plot. Yeah.
I feel like if
I didn't
they
hear
could
much
get,
about
like,
it.
if they could reboot it now with Steve Martin, unfortunately, he's gonna retire after Only Murders in the Building is done.
No.
Yeah. I
How
know.
many? Let's keep that going. Let's keep requesting
More seasons.
more seasons
Keep
of. There can be a
watching
lot of people that dies in that building. There's a lot of people.
And that podcast could go on for years. It's a great show with like two of my favorite comedic actors.
Let's
ever.
have him win some awards so it keeps him going.
Yeah.
Nothing to get rid of Steve Martin and then Martin Short.
Martin Short's great. And of course Selena Gomez, which her
She's-
doc. Did you watch it?
I did. Did you watch it? I tried to give Hunter a rundown of the doc.
I watched it.
It's very controversial right now, and I'm very upset.
Oh.
Because I think everyone missed the point of that documentary. Is the girl's literally falling apart
Yeah.
at your feet. And I told Hunter, you really don't get the emotional impact until we're at the end where you're like, she's still fighting it. Like, she's still fighting
Right
everything in her life
Yeah.
right now. And it's about, like, self-preservation. Is basically, what am I going to do to survive? Who am I going to have surrounding me?
Yep.
And not only that, for people to attack her friends. Like,
Ooh.
I've had some friends, and I've
Raquel.
been a friend on the other side where I have dry sense of humor, and it's going to come off a certain way. But if I have a friend who's been there with me through thick and thin,
Yeah.
like, you can only see a glimpse of their relationship right there.
Devil's advocate.
I don't. Yeah, okay.
I obviously have had a love for Selena since I was a young boy.
Yeah.
Like, anytime someone was like, who's your celebrity crush?
She
Selena
is-
Gomez is who I picked.
I
right?
understand, but she is the Disney Channel queen.
Oh, big time.
She
I
is.
mean, people could say it's Miley Cyrus. No.
Miley tried to distance herself, and Selena tried to too, but she's basically too wholesome and
Yeah.
too good of everything.
Oh, and there's a moment in there where she's like, you know what that felt like? That felt like Disney.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and that was
"Ugh."
heart-wrenching.
I was like, oh my gosh, she just called out the conglomerate Disney.
They don't care. They have her on
Yeah.
Hulu.
Valid. Oh my god.
But there's
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. I mean,
She's still technically working for Disney.
yeah, she is. I mean, everyone it wraps around and
I mean,
technically works for
Technically,
Disney.
you can't avoid it anymore.
I
if
mean-
you want to work, you're working somehow for Disney.
The thing with also her friend Francia, and there was a controversial where in the documentary Taylor said, Selena said that Taylor's her only friend in the industry.
Oh,
And I
is she the one
understand
gave
that,
her
but
her liver?
Taylor and Selena Gomez are, yes, the epitome of girls my age stardom.
Yeah.
They are the epitome. No one but I bet those two girls in a very select few could
Yeah.
ever relate to what they go
Oh,
through.
No.
So I think it's like she did make a comment on TikTok and she's like, I'm sorry I didn't mention everyone.
Every friend I have. Yeah.
And I was like,
she shouldn't
it's
have to
hard.
do that.
She just revealed her soul. Now you're being rude to her friends. And basically, it's like she can't even make a documentary that is about progression and her living her life without some negative connotation
Yeah.
behind it. It is so upsetting and so sad.
It really is. I mean, the one that I've been seeing the most, like, obviously, like,
Yeah.
the last 2 days, it has been the comments about Vivian. Is that her name?
Francia?
Francia. Sorry. The comments about Francia are the ones that have been, like, the headlines, but originally on my TikTok feed, it was all Raquel. And
Yes, it
all of
was
the
at the beginning.
scenes of
And
her.
I'm so controversial because I watched Selena Gomez's cooking show on HBO Max,
Okay.
and I loved Raquel on there.
See, and I don't watch that.
I but people don't start not liking her because of that. And I'm sorry, but I love her on it. She's like so blunt and dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people saw me on something like that, they'd be like, God, she's such a fucking bitch. I will say that. If people did see me, they'd be like that.
I guess, but there were a few moments when I felt like she was like too dry in moments where like
I understand
and
what
it
it
could
is.
be how it's edited, it could be how it's filmed and like we didn't see all of it because, you know, they can't put a full on conversation into the
How
doc, it would be the whole doc, you know?
that girl has taken care of Selena for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it, because I saw it as a friend that I had emotionally support. And to be that, it's one thing for your friend to go through it, but you're sitting there trying to emotionally support your friend through thick and thin, but you can't relate.
Yeah.
And it's so hard when you can't relate because you just want to tell them to get over it. And I've told friends of mine, get over it. It's okay. Like, you're trying to be optimistic, but it takes a toll on you because
Yeah.
you're like, all I want to do is help my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she's tried it for years.
Yeah.
She probably found out what worked,
Yeah.
how to keep her going.
I just don't think I like her.
I know. I get
I
it,
don't
but
know
I
if
don't.
it was anything that she did or said, and I think honestly I was pushed towards that because of the posts that I saw. How crazy is that? Like, I didn't watch Selena's cooking show. I've seen her maybe in a couple of Selena's Instagram pictures or whatever. Knew nothing about this girl. Whatever. I see all these TikToks. I go in to watch the documentary, and I'm like, oh, you're right. This girl's a bitch. Which is crazy.
You know what's great? That is supposed to be a 2.5 hour long documentary, and they cut it last minute. That hour 30 went by so fast, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, because you're on a roller coaster ride.
Hour shorter.
It's a very easy watch. But I was like, God, just give me the 2 hour and 30-minute cut. I mean, I could put stuff in such a great perspective and a great light. I don't think they talked about her kidney transplant too much. It talked more about her mental health. But
they really jumped over that. They started before the kidney transplant, and then they like jumped to like 2018.
There is a gap of missing years.
Yeah.
And I think it's purposely taken out.
Yeah.
I want to say, I feel like that's why.
From 2016 to like 2018, 2020.
There was a lot. I understand the time jumps, but it was like everything was towards the end.
Yeah.
It's like they looked at this retrospective and was like, well, that doesn't fit me anymore.
Yeah.
So let's just take it out. And I'm like, that's the journey.
Yeah.
We went really from the beginning all the way to the end super fast.
Yeah. No, I think this doc actually went by really, really fast. It felt like no time had passed when I watched it, but I think back to Apple TV, Billie Eilish, her documentary that came out on Apple TV Plus as well this last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was. That one seemed to feel a little longer to me than Selena's did.
And it wasn't so many years for her.
No.
But that girl has gone through life.
Which one?
Billie.
Yeah.
Oh, Selena has. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Every time I watch a Taylor Swift documentary, and she comes out with one each tour season, I am going to the Era tour. It will be my redemption. I've never seen Taylor Swift in person, and like I can't describe like how excited I am just for the possibility to go. But I'm excited for her documentary to come out about like re-recordings, getting everything. Like, she touched base in Miss Americana and The Prince, but like Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, first of all, they're women.
Yeah.
So anytime they come out with a documentary, it's like everyone has to look bad on what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's so like horrible.
Yeah.
And like I think the most predominant person, I swear, if someone were to go back in Taylor's and Selena's life and that period of growth that Billie is right now, they would see someone crumbling.
Oof. I wish they would have pulled
she's young. She's very young.
I wish they would have pulled some footage from that time, but one, I don't know if they wanted to go back that far for Selena, but
there's no reason to.
The thing is I would have been almost like not more interested, but it would have been very eye-opening, I think, for a lot of people, and maybe, you know, for legal reasons, for a lot of things, they couldn't go and get all of the BTS footage from her Disney years, from all of the
Disney machine,
you know, and you know there's footage of all of that. She was followed with cameras her whole life since she was on Barney. Like, I mean, you know, there's recordings of her doing all of this stuff, and you know during her Wizards of Waverly Place era.
Yeah.
Like, oof. And when she says, like, I look like a witch, like, I'm just gonna whip the wand around or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, she did not enjoy it as much as, like, we would presume as viewers.
See, like, where they're the celebrities have to do the Mickey Mouse sign over and over and over, and they get so annoyed. And I seen each one of it. Selena Gomez, I will say, in that one was like the happiest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
But they beat up those characters over and over
Was it
and
Hilary
over.
Duff that like?
No,
just
Raven Simone like rolled her eyes, and I understand that moment. She was Simone was like the top of Disney for years, and like,
and she went back.
She went back, so I'm
back
like,
to the reboot.
Hopefully the culture's changing with Disney, but also they create megastars, and every person that understood what they're getting into Disney. They said at the beginning they didn't, but when they were already into it, they knew what Disney could do for them.
Yeah.
So it just made sense.
Which, you know, I thought about like doing the Disney machine thing. Like,
did you
try and be on Disney Channel and
Did
stuff?
you try? How far did you get?
I mean, it got callbacks. I think we talked about this on Malibu Nights.
Oh, yes. Go watch Malibu Nights. It's our other podcast.
But yeah, I mean, like, I went through the audition process. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was like a legit process or not because my parents
Is it the one in Minot that you talked about?
Yeah.
Not that legit, but it was more like money grab,
like
but it could lead you to the right places to meet the right people.
It's for like a talent agency.
Yeah.
Like, basically, you pay these people to get you into a room.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah. Pay them enough money, they have the connections to get you to the right place.
I can't even imagine if I would have done that as a kid. Like, thinking about the way my brain works now as an adult, thinking back to the life that I did live, like, I can't imagine being in the Disney machine, going to class on set, being in all of these things for hours on end, being around people who don't care about your well-being. They just need you for the product. Like,
Jonas Brothers.
Oof, yeah.
They literally just went on Disney to exploit their career.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal to think that way because they wouldn't be without Disney.
Not
but they were grown. No. Joe Jonas saying I had to shave like every single hour.
Yeah.
Because I was a grown man playing like a high schooler. Yeah. They were very much older demographic of Disney. Nick was the only one that would be like Disney equivalent.
Very true.
And they were just, they understood the game.
Yeah.
Disney's a game.
I wish Nick and Selena were an item instead of Nick and Miley.
They were an item. That's why Miley and Selena, that's why there was that dislike YouTube channel, remember? That brings up some memories. I was so involved in that, like the drama.
No, I mean, Selena's doc is very good. If you're going into it hoping for a lot of Justin and Selena drama, there's not a lot of it.
To quote everything, the best decision she ever did was break up with him.
Yeah.
And I will completely and utterly agree.
Yeah.
Talk about someone who is going through emotional damage, dealing with someone else who probably dealt with it on a bigger scale at the height of his career. Oh, yeah. I feel like Selena was able to maintain her celebrity, and Justin Bieber literally fell off the face of the cliff.
Yeah.
Like, fell.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't do it anymore. It makes sense. Poor kid.
There's a lot I could say about Selena, like talking about how she had the most followers on Instagram for the longest time. She, dated Justin Bieber and got out of that, and then dated The Weeknd, and like always was just in the public eye. She, I mean, there's so much with all of them.
Do you know who I want a documentary on? Kylie Jenner.
Really?
But like in the scope of how Selena Gomez did it, because that girl has reached epitome of height. Yeah. But you don't see her anymore.
Valid. And she's rarely on Kardashians.
And she got raked over the coals like her whole life.
Yeah.
So I feel like the mental distress she would go through and what you would see in a documentary, I think would put a new light on who she is as a person. Because I feel like hers is so Instagram transparent.
It's true.
You will never probably understand the real Kylie.
No.
I mean, I feel like she's the only one that's unobtainable and untouched in the minds of people.
Yeah.
Because it's basically, you can see Selena Gomez on film. You can see Taylor Swift in concert. You can see Billie Eilish in concert. Ariana Grande in concert. You cannot see Kylie. You just see the Instagram photos.
Yeah, or her on her reality show.
And that isn't even irrelevant. You hear something interesting about the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Season 2 is not looking so hot on Hulu.
But we also had to have known that the first season was going to get all the hype, you know?
This was my theory when I watched the Kardashians. I did not watch the last season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians because it became so much a product placement. And I just seen people talking about this also. I'm like, it validates how I feel. I'm literally watching the longest commercial in my life. The most
Interesting.
like they're promoting
for their products.
Yeah, Skims,
Interesting.
Good American, basically 818 tequila. That even leaked into the Housewives. But basically, that's a long drama story. But basically, it's the longest commercial of advertising, and they're so unrelatable. Like,
They are.
Kylie and Chris went into a shopping mall, and what did they think it was funny to make fun of it? Like, oh, we're so out of touch. Let's go. Oh my God, I haven't like done a car wash in forever.
Yeah.
It's so unrelatable that it just makes me want to turn off my TV. Because why am I wasting my time watching this? I could be watching Murderers in the Building. Actual entertainment.
Only Murders in the Building or Kardashians? You let me know, Hulu.
Yeah, I'll watch The Real Housewives because in retrospect, that's still real life drama.
Yeah.
Kardashians are so orchestrated that they used to give you everything in their life and they'd put it all their hearts out. The new Kardashian show isn't like that. It's
they're producers on it now.
Yeah, and it's basically one long commercial for their products. I was like, I can't buy their products anymore just because it's like overstuffed in your face.
Interesting.
I love them as businesswomen. As Kim Kardashian says, get off your ass and work.
Yeah.
I will live by that one because that is the most genuine moment. When she got flack for saying that, I was like, I understand it, but yeah, I don't understand it. There's different parallels.
The people who are mad are the ones that don't want to get off their ass and work.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being honest.
There's different parallels. Like, I think Trevor Noah explained in the best way. If you are a mom who does everything, I'm like, wait. She's getting off her ass and working. If you're a single mom, you're doing it.
Which is valid.
So I think it was misconstrued how Kim said it.
Oh, big time.
But it's basically, she's saying, I understand nowadays it's where I've worked with a lot of people who expect like the paycheck just to be handed and them to stand and watch Netflix at work. That is literally stuff I've seen through our job.
Yeah.
And I truly believe.
That's not working hard. That's hardly working.
These people, if they were to quit the Kardashian, and I think they keep the Kardashians going up as to be, the Kardashians is hurting them because it makes them a little too transparent. If they're on social media, it's the mysterious uniqueness around them.
Yeah.
But the Kardashians takes us into something that we've already seen happen on social media. We've already been dedicated into it. And now we're like, okay, why are we, is this how you actually feel? Because it's looking a little orchestrated. Because they literally showed stuff that they've reorchestrated the second season because they didn't get it on tape. I'm like, oof. It's over. It's hurting. The Kardashians hurting their image. It is. It no longer works.
I honestly haven't felt any sort of difference from, and maybe it's because I didn't watch the Kardashian, keeping up with.
I've been an avid watcher since season 1.
See, and I would watch bits and pieces with my sister and mom, but I mean, this new series, I actually was kind of invested in the stories because of different shows that we've done here, where it's keeping up with those drama stories and stuff. That's what we do. So when the first episode came out, I'm intrigued to see what this is all about.
I got really excited because I showed you that first episode.
Yeah, because that first opening scene, it's very well shot. The whole show is edited so well. But I can tell that they are producers on it because there's nothing that's actually negative or full on 100% drama like it would have been on E, because they get the final say on what's happening on the show, which is very, very interesting to me.
Khloe Kardashian said the only way they knew they could make Keeping Up with Kardashians work was to be fully transparent. They are no longer fully transparent, and people are perceptive and they can see it. So that's where I'm I'm not expecting anything from them. When I watch a show, it's mind-numbing.
That's literally why I watch it.
I literally just watch it because it's mind-numbing. It's background noise.
Don't have to think about it.
It's literally dentist office on the background playing.
Yeah.
I don't expect a lot out of them, but what I do expect was them not to lie every episode because it feels like as a consumer, they're just lying to your face all the time because it's so orchestrated and you're like, but I understand you're telling me the truth of the incident that happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, okay.
And I guess
Okay.
for me, from my perspective, the only product out of that show that any of them make that I would purchase is 818 tequila.
Yeah.
You know, like I would never buy Skims or Kylie's makeup or whatever Chloe's
Good American.
Good American. Like, you know, those aren't products that are targeted towards me and my demographic.
And they're targeted towards me, and
Yeah.
I would totally buy them. But now I'm like, meh.
Which is interesting, you know?
They kind of like, they made these products to sell to people and they did something so incredibly smart. And now I'm like, yeah, the only person, it would just be 818 tequila.
Which is valid. I mean, Kim mentions Skims every single episode, and I've noticed that.
But they're in Kylie's cosmetic offices all the time.
Interesting. Yeah,
I mean,
it's I don't even know how we got here.
I don't know either. I'm absolutely insane. We need to pivot, but the Kardashians are just a mega hub of something that the Kardashians is hurting their image.
Oh, big time.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, I think we've talked your guys' ear off about a lot of things today. We went down so many different random paths.
And we
love
didn't even
it.
get to finish. Like, you haven't told me if you started watching The White Lotus. You haven't told me if you started watching House of Dragons.
I know.
So that's something that they're going to have to hear next episode.
Yes, next episode, which is perfect because we're going to be talking about just straight up comedies next episode, I believe. So it's perfect to set up for a show that I have started streaming. We are 2 episodes in, 2 episodes out.
So excited.
The White Lotus.
And I've shared some interesting information with Hunter about The White Lotus.
Yeah.
We need to do a full breakdown of White Lotus because I learned even more stuff
Yeah.
about the creator, Mike.
Which I've seen his name. Also, did you go
He's
look at
done
his
so
IMDb
much.
page?
He's done so much. It's
Absolutely
insane.
Bonkers. White Lotus, we have a full first season we can talk about, and the first 2 episodes. By the time this comes out, you'll see another episode. I believe there will be 3 out by this time. So we'll be able to break that down a little bit, tell you what we're feeling about this new season and what we thought of the first one, but also talk about some of our favorite throwback comedies. I mean,
you will watch The House of the Dragon.
Yes, I'll get on top of that.
Jeez, God, he's like the only person.
Like 7 hours of my life?
Yeah, only 7 hours.
Is it 7 episodes?
I think it's 8.
Oh, so probably closer to 10, but it's fine.
I mean, it's Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. They're making 20 spinoffs.
I've already done 6 seasons, probably 10 episodes each season.
Of Game of Thrones?
Is it 6 to 10?
You're that far in Game of Thrones and you haven't watched?
Oh, I've watched all of Game of Thrones.
I know that. Rewatch.
Oh, rewatch?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I don't know.
You stop that? Yeah.
I started that in college and didn't go through with the rewatch. It's just so much. It's so heavy. One day, I will do it.
I like watching certain clips from it.
I feel that. But yeah, I think that's all we got for you guys today, but we will be back next week with lots of fun stories, lots of fun topics. We're getting on a roll here. Everything's connecting. The dots, they're lining up. So
Exactly.
But yeah.
But otherwise, be kind and rewind. Thanks, guys. See you next episode.
See you later.